Hey guys, it's Dr. Ashley. Thank you for stopping by my channel today. I really appreciate you stopping by, taking the time to watch. So today we're talking about the Morphe 35M. It's the Morphe 35 Buff Smooth. And it comes right here in this new Morphe sleek redesigned packaging. And this is what it looks like on the inside. And it has this little plastic sheet for the shades right here. So this is the inside of the palette. Not get blind by my ring light there. So initially when I saw this palette on Trim Mood first. Trim Mood 1 is the Instagram account. She does a lot of lets you know what's coming out in the makeup world, the releases. So I saw this palette, and if you've been keeping up with the drama in the makeup world, you're like, Morphe. Seriously. So I saw this palette and I was like, oh my god, I like it. It's cute. I like this palette. It looks good. I mean, look at it. It has great color scheme. It has nice mattes. It has shimmers. It has colorful mattes. And this palette actually doesn't have like 35 different browns. Okay, well, I'll say 30 different browns, and the other shades, the other 5 shades are like a gold shimmer. But this palette really intrigued me, so I was like, okay, I'll check it out. But I'm not ordering it from Morphe's website, because that Jaclyn Hill palette, I got the Armed and Gorgeous. It's bad. It is horrible. And I ordered it from Morphe, so I'm not even fooling with them as far as returning it. I've been keeping up. I've been seeing what's been said. I'm not even fooling with them. I don't have the energy to. But I picked this palette up from Ulta, and it retails for $24, which is actually on par with their other 35 pan eyeshadow palettes. So I actually had a 20% off coupon that they had out there online, and it brought the palette down to $19. And then I picked up this Morphe blending brush, because I had never tried their brushes before, and it looks like it's been around the world and back again, but I've only had it for a few days, which is very interesting. It is white, so it's going to be stained by the eyeshadow, so that's not like my issue with it. But if you can look, it's pretty frayed. It's also been leaking. It's also been shedding. I don't even know where I got leaking from, but it's also been shedding, and like sometimes you can find the hairs on your face. But I do, in this tutorial, I have this look. This is the last look I demo, and then I did 2 other demos, and I'm going to insert a picture of the look I did the other day. So I've used a fairly amount of all the shadows in this palette with my 4 looks, and I like it. I mean, it's not the best. It's Morphe. I'm not a big Morphe person. The only other palette that I have by Morphe, other than the Jaclyn Hill Armed and Gorgeous, which is like that small palette, is this palette, which is the Morphe 3502. And it has like 500 browns. And the little insert just fell out of it. It looks like this. So I really only bought it for like this row right here. Right here. All of these are like 50 browns. Now, me myself, I don't need 50,000 browns, but I did makeup one time for a dance recital, and so since it was like multiple different collections of women of color, it worked out because I had browns to fit everybody's complexion. However, you don't need that many browns in a palette. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, it's only like 4 browns in this palette, only like 1 or 2 couple like warm neutrals, and then you have like all these gorgeous green matte shades. You have the green matte shimmers, you have like purpley red mattes, you have these gorgeous shimmer purple shades, then you have a couple red pinks in here. You only have 1 orange matte, which is surprising, and then you have like 1 orange, what's the name? There's not even a true gold in this palette, which is like refreshing. And then so like the only section of this palette that I probably could have really done without is just these 4 shades right here. Now this shade actually comes up on me when you'll see the swatches. It just like, it's my skin complexion. Just like, you might think I skipped it, but no, I swatched it. It just blends in that well, and I've actually kind of enjoyed this shade with this particular palette. And because it's Morphe shadows, I find that me using my Makeup Revolution concealer as a base, I use shade C3, is actually a better primer than like my Urban Decay Primer Potion. I use the shade Caffeine, which you know is like a dark brown primer, which is really not super dark, but it's like the same color as my complexion. So the shades don't really pop as well on that, and it seems like they're a little bit harder to blend out because maybe that primer is just a little bit more stickier or tackier versus the concealer. But overall, I enjoyed this palette. I like the look that I came up with today. And now what I will say is I was a little disappointed in especially maybe these two shades right here, these two, because I just felt like they just didn't give enough dimension. Like once you started layering them on top of each other, they kind of just look like the same shade. And matter of fact, you'll see what I do by green eyeshadow look like all 1, 2, 3 when I layer these on each other, except for not this one, but these, they all layered like the same. It was just like you couldn't even see that it was any definition to the look. I was looking for a gradient, like, you know, it's just going light to darker to darker to darker, but I couldn't really achieve that. This shade is like a nice brow bone shade. If you're into that, that's not really something I'm into. It's not too stark, but you can tone it down. And then, like I said, we have these 4 shades, these bronze shades right here. They're okay to me. I didn't really play with them. I didn't think that's what you guys probably wanted to see. Those are really like just kind of, you know, thrown in the palette where you can kind of do some neutral looks if you just need to. But I found that I did somewhat of a simple neutral look using this orange, like this red. Now this particular color right here and this particular color right here and this one, they didn't really blend too well over each other. They just kind of looked like one. It didn't look muddy, but it was just like, it was, once again, it was just like kind of no definition. But I don't think they're overall bad shades. Now these mattes, they definitely need like building up. So I will use like a concealer, and I would not set that concealer, and then I would use like, especially like a lighter base. I wouldn't use like a dark, your skin tone concealer. I would definitely use like a lighter concealer so that the shadows can pop against that concealer. But you do have to go in with quite a few strokes and just kind of like keep blending it and adding more to get the pigmentation. However, I did find that this black shade right here, like you put it on, and I have it in the look today, and I just like patted it on, and it stayed. And when I blended it out, it did not get messy. It did not blend out into nothing, which was very promising. And also same with here. This was very pigmented also. You just pat it on, and once you blend it out or add more, it stayed very true to color. And you could tell it was a different in the colors. Now these orange, I mean not these oranges, but these purple shimmers right here, they were very pretty. I have them on my eyes right now, and you'll see like a closer up image of them. But they perform well. And then even without Fix Plus, I found that all of my shimmers picked up very well. I use like a synthetic brush that I usually use when I apply my shimmers, and all of the shimmers in this palette picked up very well. You know, I would say like particularly this shade right here and this particular shade, they did have like fine glitter. I don't even think it's fine actually. You probably see like some right here. they have glitter in them that kind of just travels everywhere. So it has like micro glitter in it, and then it also has like a chunkier glitter. Now the shadows are not chunkier, but it just has some bigger pieces of glitter, and then they kind of tend to travel, and they don't even really come off your face. I did try to knock it off, but it's not happening. So I would just make sure you do your shadow, you know, afterwards. I think that overall I'm generally happy with this palette. I was really interested in these greens, and they perform well as the green shimmers. I was very interested in like this bottom section. Now some of the palette, like I said, it could have been edited for me. I don't really need 35 shades in one particular palette, especially, I don't know, especially like Morphe. Like I don't want to be just so negative, but I just don't need that many. But I'm very excited that it wasn't like all of these browns. They gave you only 4 browns, which I think is wonderful. So like this palette, I think it's been doing really well. Like several of the Ultas by me, they did not have the palette in it. And at this point with Morphe, I'm just kind of like, if I'm going to buy a product from them, I'm definitely going to buy it from Ulta so I can return the product. But overall, like I said, the palette is nice. I think that it's something different from Morphe, because usually the palettes that I see that come out that don't have like 50 billion browns in them are like the bold palette. So I do appreciate it. And it was like a color scheme that's like right on time. I'm really feeling the greens. I've been really feeling purples and greens and palettes together. I like the nice mix of oranges. I really like putting oranges and purples together on my eyes. So I like the red shimmer, the reddy pink shade. This particular shade right here, I really do like that. It's gorgeous. This particular shade right here is also gorgeous. So I think it does perform pretty well. I mean, like I said, it's not like going to be the best qualities for the match. You're going to have to build it up. But I didn't feel like I had to put like so much effort into it. It wasn't like it was hard. They blended out nicely and they layered somewhat nicely over each other. But like I said, some of the green shades, it was just like it kind of just faded into each other. But the look did not muddy up. So I do appreciate that. Not to mention, like I say, I would just make sure you use a lighter primer, and then I would do your face makeup, your eye makeup first, and then I would go in with your face makeup, because like I said, like some of these shimmers, they have like some glitter in them and they will kind of go traveling all about your face. And you're like, I don't even know how you get there. But I didn't have any fallout with the matte shades, which I think is pretty impressive. Even with the dark green matte shades and with the dark, I'm talking about like these right here and this one and the black. I didn't have any fallout. And I do have like foundation on today because I'm like testing out the Tutti Frutti foundation. So let me know what you think about this and stay tuned for the demos. And so I do appreciate having this in my collection. I don't think it's a bad buy. Like I said, I was able to get it from Ulta, and they also have it on Ulta.com, and then of course they sell it at Morphe, and there are plenty of affiliate codes out there that you can get. I don't have an affiliate code with Morphe, but like I said, I did use a coupon with Ulta, which made the palette $19. So for this, like $19 in my collection, I'm not mad at it. It wasn't hard to use. I was able to get the colors to manipulate in a way that I wanted them to perform, so I can't be mad at that. So I would recommend it. I mean, I'm not like a big fan of Morphe, but if I see something I like, no matter usually what brand it is, I'll try it. If I don't like it, I try to shop at places where I can at least take it back, without a whole lot of effort. So stay tuned for the demos, and thank you for watching. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with this shade right here. And when I swatched it, this shade is like literally my skin complexion. And it doesn't even show up. But it might show up on this primer a little bit. But it's called Play It Cool. So try that. Pick some of that up on this brush. This is what it looks like on the brush. I'm going to sweep that like right here at the top of the brow, just to kind of tone down where that white primer is, or a very light primer. It's not white. And you see, like, tone. And I'm going to go in with, I'm going to start with this orange color right here. And that shade is called Fired Up. I'm going to take that in the crease with this same blending brush, kind of angling it up. And I use this lighter primer just to see how these shades perform. They didn't swatch terrible. The shimmers swatched better than the mattes. It is building up to a degree. Hope you can see that. Sales going up, but then I did bring some right here into this inner corner area. And I'm just trying to build that shape up. I like oranges and purples together. And then the greens in this palette really did excite me, so There are actually a lot of color combinations you can do with, well, this brush is actually, I like it. It's not bad. It's light to hold. It's soft. I've never tried Morphe brushes before, like I said. So I have heard like very mixed reviews on the brushes. So I figured I would try it. Like I said, I got this stuff from the Ulta store because I just can't even fool with that Morphe website right now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this matte shade right here. It's a purpley color and it's called FOTD. Take it on that same brush, same Morphe blender brush, and layer that right underneath that orange. And I'm not bringing that as far over. I'm just going to keep it kind of to about right here. This brush is not too bad. It did shed a little bit when I opened it, so that's something to kind of keep in mind. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take, I don't know, I'm going to go ahead and take this purple shade right here. I'm just going to keep building it up. And I'm just going to place that a little bit lower. It picks up pretty nicely. I'm still using the same blending brush. And I'm going to go ahead and dip in one more time. And if it looks a little patchy right here, where you can see right here, that is my fault. I did not smooth my concealer out with my finger. I just did it with a brush. And when I do that with a brush, it always skips on my skin in that particular area. Okay, so now I think I would like to, I think I'm going to play with this deep green right here. And this shade is called Green with Envy. And I'm actually going to change brushes. I'm going to use like my Sephora crease brush. I'm just going to make sure I wipe off whatever colors I have on there. And I've actually been liking this brush for like right here in this little area to stamp colors on. It's been very helpful to like reach that area very easily. Ooh. Like, I think between the brush and the shade, like I said, it just makes it so easy, like just to stamp that color right there. And I'm going to gently blend those two together. But I don't really want to lose that purple shade, so I'm going to go back in with that Morphe brush. Just kind of blend out the edges. I don't have any additional product on my brush. Trying to make sure this little area is smooth too. Okay, now, let's see. So far I'm liking it. So far I have no clue where this look is going. No clue. But I think I'm going to take this shimmer right here. And I'm going to use my Tarte brush right here. And this one is like out of a unicorn set a few years ago. It's just like a shader brush. It works very well for shimmers. And I'm just going to like pack that on right next to it. So some of these shades kind of remind me of the shades in the ColourPop Good Sport. But that one has like that deep green is more like a tealy green. Well, I like how grungy. Okay, sorry about the motorcycle. I live on a boulevard and it could get quite loud out there sometimes. I apologize. But I'm liking how this green picks up. That's without any Fix Plus. And I'm not going to spray it because I don't want it to like overpower the look. And I'm going to bring it in some more over the lid. I'm looking how it's like dark green, orange. It's like a grungy sunset. It's like sky and then like some grass or something. Okay, and now I am going to take, I think I'm going to take this lighter green right here. And it has some gold reflex in it right here. And this shade is called Bold Moves. And I'm going to flip that same Tarte brush over. I'm just going to flip it over. And pick up that shade and fill in this little blank right here. Oh yeah, that's pretty. And I'm just kind of blending that up right there into that crease so it kind of overlaps right there. And I'm just packing it on just a little bit more. Okay, and now I'm going to pick up, let's see. I think I'm going to pick up my MAC 224 because I still have like a little space right in here that needs to be addressed. And the first shade I used was, that first layering shade was this orange shade right here. I'm going to go back in with a little bit on my brush. Just kind of smooth out the blend of that area right in there. Nice. And then I'm going to take up the same Morphe brush and I'm going to pick back up this color right here, which was called FOTD. Intensify right here where we might have lost a little bit from blending. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye. Okay, I finished up the look and this is how it came out. I'm very happy with how it came out. It performed well. The brush I used worked out well also. I am using the Bad Girl Bang mascara. And then I have on a Milani brush, a Baked Gelato blush, and that's in shade 005. Have on the ColourPop lipstick and Doing Fine. And then I use my Kat Von D tattoo liner for my upper waterline. So let me know what you think. This is the look. Okay, hey guys, I'm back. Let's get into look 2. So I got my eyebrows done. I got my base on. I don't know who I am. I've got the Tutti Frutti foundation on, a little bit of highlight with the shade for the Tutti Frutti foundation is Warm Sand. And I have my Makeup Revolution concealer on in shade C3 for my primer. And today we're going green. Green, 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 green. I want to play with all these wonderful green shades in here. That is majority of what brought me to this palette in the first place. I love green eyeshadow. I think it looks very nice on brown eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with that Play It Cool shade just to kind of tone down this white, or it's not a white, but this light beige primer. Just so, because I don't put on a whole lot, but then you start blending it out and it goes everywhere. And I just don't want to have so much green that close to my brow bone. I'm taking that same Morphe brush. I'm still testing it out. It does shed some. This is the Morphe M441 blending brush. And it's kind of similar to my Sephora Pro crease brushes that I use all the time. So far, I do like how it blends. I think this could be a good option if that brush is too expensive for you, that Sephora one, or you're in the market and you want a less expensive one. I'm not even sure if that Sephora brush is even still available. I feel like it's not. Okay, so now I got that color laid down. I'm going to go ahead and start with, let's see. I'm going to start with Hello Sunshine. Then I'll probably work my way to that color. And then we'll see. We shall see. It's going to be very green. It might be a little bit of a berry tone thrown in here. We'll see. But we're going green. So, Hello Sunshine. Placing it in that crease. Now, I do have that color Play It Cool down that brown. So, it's kind of creating a gradient. It's picking up. And keep building it up. This one, I believe, it's swatched pretty light on me. You can look at this, if you could tell by the swatches that I showed you, that picture. And that, you know, that Play It Cool, you probably thought I skipped the spot. It wasn't even any color there. It was like, oh, this is my skin complexion. Dead on. Okay, so I'm still building that up. It's decent. It's not terrible. I think it could be my complexion, but I'm using a lighter primer. But if you're like nervous about green shades and you think this is going to be like super, super bright, you might want to give it a go because it's not as bright as it seems. I'm going to go into Stroke of Luck now. Same Morphe blender brush. I did clean it off. Tap off some of the excess. I picked up a lot there. Just going to go over that one. Okay, it made it brighter a little bit. It's showing up. I'm just going to be layering these greens till I'm happy. And I'm looking, I'm like, sorry if I'm out of frame. I'm looking. I don't have any fallout on my face, which is good. It's good to kind of test some other theories just so you all can see. Considering I always do my base last, I can't be trusted with myself. I'm really liking this Tutti Frutti foundation so far. Oh, there goes my left eye. Wants to water. Cool out. But it looks like the color matches like spot on. Okay, now I'm going to go in. I layered that up. I'm going to go in with Express Yourself. And that's this particular green right here. Same Morphe blending brush. Tap it off. I'm going to go right here in the inside of the crease. I'm not going to take it up as far. See if we can get a little bit more depth. I just thought these greens were really unique to my collection. I do have like green shimmers, but I don't have like a whole lot of green mattes. Just going to bring that into, I'm going to bring that all the way down into this front though. I'm going to go into this olive green shade right here. I'm still just going to, do I want to change brushes? No, I'm going to keep the same brush for the moment. Okay, so now I'm going to go to this olive green, and this is called Nude Tude, which makes absolutely no sense to me, but it's called Nude Tude. And I'm just going to go like right in this area. Ooh, did I take any? I mean, I'm not struggling. I just wish it would give some more definition. Okay, I'm going to change brushes because like I always preach, you know, the fluffier the brush, like the less concentrated the color is going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my Sigma airbrush blending brush right here, and this is the F63. Take that same color, see if we can get a little bit more depth. And we do to a degree, but I'm not sure if it's because we're layering them all on top of a color. It is pretty close. And I think that even though it's supposed to be a gradient, I think that some of these greens are just maybe a little bit just too close in color. You know, when to change to that Sephora crease brush, and I'm going to pick up this same, no, actually I'm going to go in with Green with Envy, and that is the shade right here. And I have used that shade before and it picked up nicely, so let's see what it did. I used that in the first look. Let's see what we have going. Okay, like this shade you can definitely tell. But I was saying, like, some shades, you know, when you look in the palette, it's like, oh, you got all these different variations so you can create a gradient. But sometimes if the shades are not like the right hue, when you go to look, I'm just going to take that all the way up in the crease since we didn't get that type of gradient that I was looking for. Kind of drag it out there. No fallout yet, but you just can't see the gradient. Like, everything just starts looking the same once you put it on the eyelid. And if that's the case, then you just don't need all these colors. And I think I'm going to do, I guess, somewhat of a halo eye. And I'm going to take this on the inner corner too. I'm just going to keep the same brush. If you see it patchy right there, it's just like what my eye does. I did take my finger and tap it out that time. I mean, sometimes that helps, but sometimes it just doesn't. And I'm just going to kind of bridge this over. Just making sure that those little fine lines right there, they have makeup in it. And I'm going to keep this like open right there. I mean, I do like this gradient, but just wanted a little bit more from the lighter greens. Do I think like it's a total washout? No. I guess like, you know, if I hit pan on one shade, I can just go on to the next. And I'm going to go ahead and take this, my 224, MAC 224. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of clean this little area up. Make sure it's nice and blended. I don't have any additional product on the brush at the moment. And then I'm going to go ahead and wipe it off. And I think I am going to go ahead and take that Stroke of Luck green, the little lighter green, just to give it, kind of lost some of our brightness. That same 224 just to kind of brighten it up, even though it doesn't seem like it's brightening up. Tarte brush right here, and I'm going to go ahead and use I don't know if I want to just keep it really grungy. I think I'm gonna keep it really grungy. We'll see for the moment. And I'm going to take this shade right here, which should be Electric Energy. Get up on the brush, and I'm just going to dab it in right in there, fill in that little blank spot that we have. Like it is like an exact spotlight eye. I do think I want to go ahead and wet this shade just a little bit. Now, from what I have noticed from like the few Morphe palettes I've had, and I would just be kind of careful about wetting some of the shades, just for the simple fact that you don't want to like dip your brush back in wet and create what's called hard pan. So I'm just going to go ahead and wet it right here. And I got my Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Yeah, and that really just intensified that. And I'm just kind of cleaning, you know, dabbing the outsides, just so that it's kind of blended in there. And I'm going to go back and take that Sephora brush. And I'm going to go ahead and go back in with Green with Envy. That's this dark green right here. Make sure I re-intensify that in the outer corner. And also on the inner. Then I'm going to go back over a little bridge right in there. And I'm not going to do an inner corner highlight because I just want to be focused to be like right here in the center. Okay, I'm back. I did the other eye. What do we think? I added lashes. They're by Kiss, and this style is called Little Black Dress. I really like these lashes. Just like a little side note, Kiss lashes, I've tried them before. They're affordable. This is like a faux mix pair. They were only $6.99. And they go on so easily. So like if you struggle with trying to put on lashes, this might be a lash for you. And I just added a little light nude lip gloss and added a little bit of green underneath the eyes and green waterline right here. And the ColourPop pencil is in the shade, I don't know. I will list it down below because it is rubbed off. That's the only problem with ColourPop things, like, you know, the names will rub off. So if you don't really remember what the liner is, but it looks like this, and it's a green eyeliner, and there is their only green eyeliner, I do believe, and it's a bright green, just to brighten up the look a little bit. But I really do like how it came out, and the greens blend out nicely. You know, I wanted the lighter greens to just be a little bit brighter, but the look pulled together, especially once I put that deep green in the corners of my eye. And unlike that Armed and Gorgeous palette, my frustrations, like that green blends into literally nothing. So I will have a look 3, so stay tuned and check out the next case. So I am back. We're going to get into the third look, well, at least the third look that I'm actually demoing for you. And I want to see how these purples, so like kind of like this bottom row performs. I used this shade yesterday pretty well. I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with this shade right here. It's kind of like a reddish orange shade, and it is called Red Carpet. Use that Morphe M441 brush. And the brush still feels soft, but I don't like how it looks so frayed, and I'm like, how is it going to hold up after I wash it? Because I have not done that yet. And I'm just blending this in the, like a little bit above my crease, like on top of that brow bone area. And it picks up not too bad. I wouldn't say, these shades, from what I've noticed, they're very buildable. Like they do wear, the look I had yesterday that I inserted the picture of, it wore for a very long time. Like I wore it out. It was pretty warm that day. And went to lunch, came back home, took a nap, and I woke up and I was like, oh, I'm still looking okay. I'm still looking kind of good. And actually the same for that Tutti Frutti foundation. I was like, oh. And I do actually have it on right now because I'm still like testing it out for you. I'm like, who am I? I got foundation on before I'm doing my eyes, but I'm here. So I'm just gonna kind of blend that in, make sure it's all blended. Again, it's doing that little patchy thing right there. That's because that's just what my eye likes to do, especially on this particular eye in that area. I did use my finger to tap out my concealer. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so we got our transition shade going. Now, I haven't tried out this shade. Well, no, actually, no, I have not. So I'm going to go into Sweet Beets, and that's this shade right here. And I'm just going to kind of place that in the crease area using that same brush. And the brush is shedding. I don't know. I know a lot of people rave about these brushes, but I mean, this one is not bad. I like how it does blend out the colors. I like the shape of it. I like how it's not so stiff. I don't prefer a so stiff crease brush, but I don't know if it's like something that's really worth your money. Where like, yeah, they're inexpensive, but if you have to keep replacing them because they just keep shedding all over the place, then it might not be worth it, because by the time you keep buying it, you could just buy something better. Like if you're looking for inexpensive brushes, like, you know, the Real Techniques, those new little Sephora magnetic brushes, they're good and they're considerably cheaper than the ones before. Okay, that color layered pretty well. So I'm going to go in with, and this is probably unnecessary, but I still just want to kind of test out this color right here. This is this color. And this is called Candy Crush. So that's this one right here. I used this one before. So I'm just going to kind of layer that in that same area. Okay. It's okay. Now, just so we can get like what the full width this palette is working with, I'm going to very carefully with my Sephora eyeshadow brush, I'm going to go into this color Black Magic right here, which is, this is a black matte shade. Take some on my Sephora brush. I'm going to pat that right on the inner corner. Oh, that's one of the better shades. Okay. Okay, now I still have like plenty on my brush right there, and I didn't pick up a lot, but I'm gonna wipe that brush off. I don't want to like overpower this look, so I'm going to stop while I'm somewhat ahead, and Makeup Geek brush right here, and then this is called the Define Crease brush, and I'm gonna blend that color out because I'm gonna take a clean brush. So if you have like very bold colors, take a clean brush, and I'm just gonna kind of move it around in circles. Feather it out a little bit to create that shape, and then move it in right here. Because I didn't want to take any more with that other brush. It's like, I will, you know, blacks can go wrong very quickly. But it's nice to know like this black is pretty decent. Honestly, I think like my favorite blacks are like Urban Decay Perversion. That is a very good black matte shade. Of course, whatever the black shade is called by Pat McGrath, you know, that's an excellent black shade. And who else? I think those are like really my favorite. I'm not like a girl that has to have a black shadow in every single palette. I get it. I'll think about it a little bit later if I want to bring it up past there. But right now, we're going to leave it be as there, right there. So, I'm going to go back in with that same Sephora brush. I cleaned it off in my color switch. And I'm going to take this shade called Transformer. It's a deep, deep purple matte. Tap off a little bit of excess. And I'm going to kind of like marry this in with the black. And I'm going to bring this shade up a little bit further. And I think I'd rather take this one over. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and take that same Sigma brush. This is the Makeup Geek brush. And I'm just going to kind of blend that little crease out. Now, I do think I want to go ahead and pick up some more of this color Sweet Beet, which is this one right here. And take that in that crease area to help blend those colors. But I'm just keeping it here. I'm not going to bring it forward there. I'm just going to keep it like right here. Okay. So now I got to have my Tarte brush. I want to know how these shimmers play. And I'm going to take Daredevil right here. And then I think I'm going to take Great Expectations. I'm going to take Daredevil. I'm not going to wet it. It does pick up on my shader brush. And I'm going to put it right here. Kind of marrying it in with that other color. Oh, it shows up pretty well. Some of these shimmer shades, they have a lot of glitter in them. And they can kind of fall out places. So I would be careful or travel a little bit further than what you want them to. Okay, that is, if you have the right brush, that is not a bad purple shimmer. It's actually not bad at all. It's not the greatest. And I'm gonna I want to see like what the power is if we spray it. So I got my MAC Fix Plus right here. I'm gonna spray that. Attempt to spray it, not spray like the air. And I'm just gonna pat a little bit more over there. And clean that brush off. I'm gonna clean it off because I feel like Morphe shadows, you have to be careful with some of these shimmers. Like, you go back in that pan with your brush wet, it will cause hard pan. I really do feel like that. Now I have this shade that's called Great Expectations. That is that brighter shimmer purple. And I'm going to layer that down first. We'll layer it down. But I'm not going to use any Fix Plus just yet. Gonna kind of marry that over with that color. It was called Daredevil. This one picks up pretty nicely too. Okay. That does not look bad. I didn't bring that all the way down into the corner, so there is like still a little space left. And then we have this little brighter shade. It's called Confidence. It's like a pinky shade. Just trying to use all the shades I haven't used before. This one right here. And I'm going to go ahead and put that like in my inner corner. And that will definitely like brighten this look. I still have that Tarte brush. I picked it up. This one picks up as well. Okay. And it gives it a nice little different effect. What I will say about this Tarte brush, it works on good shimmers, really, really good shimmers. It really kind of like poor performance shimmers. So like if a shimmer doesn't pick up with this brush, I'm kind of like, okay, that's just bad. Okay, so I'm back. I finished up the look and I already had my foundation on, which was the Tutti Frutti Dewy foundation, and that is in the shade Warm Sand. And I went ahead and added lashes. I'm wearing the Kiss Little Black Dress lashes again. I really like it. My lipstick is ColourPop with Shayla. It's the first round. It's called Come On Sis with the cork lip liner. So I really like how this looked. It worked out well. I think that the purples and the greens and some of the red shades, they really solidify this palette for me. So let me know down in the comments how you like the looks, how you like the demos that I did, and let me know if you're going to pick up this palette or not. So thank you for watching, and I appreciate you coming by and stopping by my channel. Thank you for watching. Make sure you comment, you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for when I upload new videos, which will be very soon, and you'll want to see the next video. You're going to want to see the next video. All right, bye you.